Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Edale Lane's Sapphic Storytime, where tonight I bring you an exclusive interview with Edale Lane. Now, last time we talked about an Ask Me Anything segment, and so I kind of put that together for us today. And I would like you to welcome with me to the show our author, Edale Lane.
Hi, and thanks for having me. I'm joining you from my beautiful backyard this afternoon, ready to answer those questions.
Well, the first question I have here is the name, breed of your first dog.
Yes, I am a pet lover. I remember the very first dog that I ever had was a beagle, but not a typical beagle. I was about 5 years old. My daddy wanted to go buy a new hunting dog. So he took me to the breeder's farm or whatever, and he let me pick out which puppy we would get. And I picked out this little one that looked different than all the others, and it got really, really big. And his name was Dusty, and he was a fabulous hunting dog for my daddy. And I loved Dusty, but one day, he went chasing a deer off in the woods and did not come back. And they looked for him, and my daddy called, and all the hunters went out and called and looked for Dusty. And when they came home without him, I cried and cried because my poor Dusty was gone, and surely he would come back. And every time Daddy and his friends were at the hunting camp, they would look for him, but no sign of Dusty. Well, about a year later, we got a phone call from someone who lived 40 miles away who said, a dog with a tag with your phone number showed up in our garage. And turns out she had been cooking venison with her back door open. And he came up to the back door with his nose. So we went and picked him up, so happy to have Dusty back, and we had him for another couple of years before he was hopelessly lost in the woods. I've had many dogs since then. He was the first one.
Thank you. Now, our next question. What was the first story you ever wrote?
Oh, lots of questions about firsts today, eh? All right, so the first book I ever wrote, I remember distinctly, I was in grade 2, and it was about dinosaurs. It was completely plagiarized. But I did the artwork. I drew the dinosaurs for the story. On about grade 4, I started writing actual stories and not just plagiarizing other people's works. But I've been plugging away at this for a very long time.
Okay, I had a reader who says, why Viking stories? What's so special?
Viking stories. Oh, yes. Well, no, my ancestors are not Scandinavian. They're pretty much all Scots-Irish with a few British and Northern European thrown in for good measure. But I've always been interested in Vikings and their culture. I remember as a very small child watching a movie with Kirk Douglas and Tony Curtis called Vikings, or The Vikings, or something anyway. I was fascinated by all the sword play and the cultural things. And, of course, I went on to get a master's degree in history and taught history for many, many years. I like a lot of periods of time. But that particular culture, I don't know. I just thought they were cool.
The next question is about the Night Flyer series, and the reader says...
The Night Flyer series. Now we're moving into a different era of history, a different part of the world. The Night Flyer series takes place in Renaissance Italy, and beginning with Merchants of Milan, we have basically kind of I guess you'd say a Batgirl meets Leonardo da Vinci kind of thing. My mother absolutely loved Leonardo da Vinci, and I took on a love for him. Very much a man ahead of his time, brilliant in so many ways, and talented. Also people nowadays say that he was dyslexic, like I am, so I just kind of hold on to that and relate to it as a sign of genius. Anyway, so I did a lot of careful research, and there is so much actual history and actual art in these books, along with maybe a little bit fantastical fictional characters. But Florentina's father was murdered at the beginning of book 1, and she did not have a brother to take up the Italian vendetta, which was the basic way that families dealt with, murders, was to go after and punish the person who did it. But so she decided that she would have to do it herself, since she didn't have a brother to do that. And she had been a kind of a student of Leonardo da Vinci's, so she started coming up with ideas. As a woman, she couldn't really pay back this murderer. So she created an alter ego, which ended up getting the name of Nightflyer, because her character, dressed all in black, had a kind of a glider flying machine that she could run off the roof of a building and escape capture in. And so, she said, what I have to do is shock and awe them. And once they're afraid of me, then I can enact revenge. So in order to set this all up, she needed a kind of a base of operation. Well, when her father died, and his business went kaput because he was an inventor and did a lot of repair work, and nobody wanted to hire a woman as an inventor or a tinker or anything like that, because women know about that kind of stuff. So she gets hired on at a wealthy household of people that she knew did not like the guy she was going after. And she planned for everything, except falling in love with the lady whose children she was hired to tutor. And so that kind of sets up the whole thing. There's secret societies, there's mysteries to unravel, and there's a lot of character growth and development, even a redemption arc within the series. So, I hope you will look for the Nightflyer series, starting with book 1, Merchants of Milan.
Now, Edale, I've just got a question come in that says, why the Xena shirt?
Oh, the shirt! Xena Warrior Princess, of course! I will be happy to tell you about that. You see, back in 1997, I was a big fan of the Xena show. I mean, yes, I know. Okay. So they did take great liberties with history. And yes, it was campy and hokey and all that stuff. But we had a protagonist who was a woman warrior. Beautiful woman warrior with a dark past. And she gets a sidekick who is this sweetheart, bard, storyteller, supporter, kind of innocent gal who we learn along with. Anyway, they had so much subtext in there that I think every lesbian on the planet was enjoying the show. So anyway, I was, among other things, writing fan fiction for Xena Warrior Princess, and the internet was started, and they had things like forums where you could go in and you started these conversation threads, and then they came up with chat rooms where you could actually message in real time to other people, and we had a Xena forum chat room thing going with some other folks. And we would go do all these crazy adventures, like have virtual trips and just make up crazy stuff. But we would also share our fan fiction. And one of the members of that group, who went by the handle Excellent with an X, was a little bit stood out to me from the others in the group. And when I sent out my fan fiction, everybody was just like my friends at home. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, this is great. You should be a published author, blah, blah, blah. But excellent, actually took care with my manuscripts and returned them to me with markups like, this is a misspelled word, this phrase is a little awkward, you may want to reword this. Oh, and over here, what if you added this to make it, even better? And I was like, whoa, here's someone who's actually paying attention to what I write, who actually cares if I improve or not. And so we just kind of started chatting and emailing and talking on the phone and carrying on this long-distance relationship until the point that we were both very ready to meet in person. So we organized the 1997 Xena Fest in Orlando, Florida, in commemoration of the new Universal Studios attraction for Xena and Hercules. And so we invited all these different people to come, and there was the publishers and editors of this Xena fan magazine called the Chakram. There was people who do demonstrations with their swords. There was all kinds of folks who brought their music videos that they had made of Xena clips set to music, and we just did all this wonderful stuff. Had a great time. That is when Excellent, and I managed to get out of the hotel room long enough to join the festivities. She decided to stay. We've been together for 26 years, and now we live in British Columbia. So Xena has a special place in my heart because that's how I met my sweetie. So. Well, thank you. I've enjoyed being with you today, and now I will turn the show back over to you. And don't forget to ask me more questions next time on Edale Lane's Sapphic Storytime.
Thank you so much, Edale Lane. And I apologize for a few technical glitches that I didn't know I was going to encounter, such as if I touched my mouse, it would pause the interview. But we live and learn. This is a new medium for me. I'm trying out all kinds of stuff to try to bring you entertaining content and keep you focused on Edale Lane's story time. Thanks for tuning in. Come back next time when we are going to be celebrating the release of War and Solace. Yes, I want you to all be here. I'll come up with something spectacular to plan. Okay, I'll start brainstorming right now. Thanks. See you on the flip side, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.